It's way too early, but we're going to predict the record for Texas A&M football this season.
You are Locked On Aggies, your daily podcast on the Texas A&M Aggies, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome on into the Locked On Aggies podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak. Thanks for making Locked On Aggies your first listen every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from. Need one now? Grab a 5-Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. Stock up today and stay energized. On the show today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to predict Texas A&M's record. We're going to talk a little baseball tail end of the show, but we're going to get things started today talking about a prediction for the Aggies record. My plan here, so what month is it? We're in the end of March. So the season starts in the end of August. So we've got April, May, June, July, and pretty much, all of August. So we've got 5 months until the season starts. I plan to do this probably again in like June or July, probably June, and then doing it again, the week before we play our first game. Because I think that it shows trends. I think that things change when it comes to who we're going to get in this portal window in the next few weeks and different things like that. So we'll do this again. This is way too early, but I don't think people are going to like what I have to say today. So let's get right on into this. First game is the matchup at home against UTSA on August 30th. I think that we can all hope that this is in no way, shape, or form a stressful football game. And if it is, that's not ideal. So should be able to outwin, should get this team going, hopefully build you some confidence, get Marcel Reed going, all those good things. Obviously, yes, I think the Aggies win this game. Then, same thing again, Utah State. Don't see any concerns there. I just don't. I know Utah State, Jordan Love, and they've had some players come out of there, but I'm just not buying it. I don't think Utah State will create an issue for the Aggies. And isn't that an Aggies versus Aggies? I'm double checking. Is it not? Man, do I not know ball? Okay, no, I do. Good. I do. I'm a ball knower. Don't worry. I always get a little worried when I thought I've made a non-ball knowing statement. Yes, it's an Aggies versus Aggies matchup, which is they're always fun. Yeah, I think that the good Aggies win this game, so I should say that. Yes, I can tell you with certainty that the Aggies will win this game. Just hopefully it's the Aggies of Texas A&M. So, yes, don't anticipate that being any kind of issue. And then comes, kind of the biggest early season game of the year, which is a September 13th matchup with Notre Dame in South Bend. A Notre Dame team who just played a national championship game. Notre Dame team who came into Kyle Field last year and beat this Texas A&M football team. And, looking at the future and looking at this game, I don't know how you can sit here and feel good about it. I don't know if that's a possibility. So obviously Riley Leonard, he's not here anymore. But, at the end of the day, so that narrative's gone of Elko playing his old. But I'm just telling y'all, I think that this game is going to be an interesting one. But, yeah, right now I'm going to have to take Notre Dame to win. In South Bend, I just think this is a tough game for the Aggies to go win on the road. I hope I'm wrong about that one. That would be a huge momentum-shifting type of win if the Aggies win on the road, start the year 3-0. If you beat Notre Dame, this is going to be a special season. But no, right now, yes, I've got the Aggies losing this football game in South Bend. So I've got us 2-1, 3 games into the year. Then is the matchup with Auburn, which I think is one. That's on September 27th. We get a week off. Then is the matchup with Auburn on September 27th in Kyle Field. An Auburn team who stole one from you last year, it felt like, especially when A&M was looking to make a playoff push, and Auburn steals one from you. I've heard good things, been talking to some different Auburn connections. I've talked to some Florida connections, Auburn connections, and Missouri connections over the last few weeks, kind of seeing how spring going for everybody, trying to get a feel for the Aggies. And sounds like things are going really well for the Auburn Tigers. Obviously, they did well in the portal receiver. They got that Singleton kid. They got some kid named Horatio Fields that I've heard they're excited about. I forget where he came from. I know that Singleton came from Georgia Tech. So they've got some receivers they're excited about to pair with Cam Coleman. But at the end of the day, what's going to make or break their season is what happens with the former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback, Jackson Arnold. If Jackson Arnold is really good, I think Auburn's going to be one of the most underrated teams in college football. If Jackson Arnold is not good, I think they're not going to be good, and I think the Aggies win this game with ease, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't foresee – I'm predicting right now Texas A&M to win this football game. But I'll tell you this. If 3 months roll around and the Jackson Arnold hype train is starting to build around Auburn, Alabama, this game's going to get a lot scarier a lot quick because they're going to have a good defense. They had a good defense last year that was full of young freshman players. Those guys are all older now. Auburn did a pretty darn good job in the transfer portal. So, yeah, this is a Auburn football team that does indeed scare the crap out of me. I'll just be honest with you. It does. I like that this is at home. If it wasn't at home, I would be a little bit more concerned. But it is at home. And yes, I am going to predict Texas A&M to get the win over the Auburn Tigers, despite I think that Auburn's an underrated team. And I think if Arnold's good, they're going to be good. But once again, this is why I wanted to do this way too early. If in 3 months, I'm probably still going to pick A&M to win, but I'm going to be a lot more scared about this game if Jackson Arnold is that dude. Then your next game is another home game against Mississippi State. Mississippi State is in a position right now that I just don't see it turning around anytime soon for Mississippi State. After the tragic passing of Coach Leach, it just hasn't gone well for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, and I don't see that changing this year. I don't think that they're going to be very good. I think they've got an underrated quarterback, but I just don't think they have the team needed to come into Kyle Field and pull off this kind of upset. I just don't see it happening. So this is the type of game I have, like, if that game is stressful, if that game is tight at home against Mississippi State, I don't think Texas A&M is going to be doing anything special at all. I really don't. So that's a game you have got to win at home. And I don't think you win. I think you need to absolutely boat race the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I don't want this game to be interesting. I don't want this game to be in question. I don't want this game to be close. I just think you are infinitely better than that football team. You don't want this game to be interesting at all. That's just the reality. So those are the first few games. There's a lot more games on this schedule. So we're sitting right now 5 games into the year at 4-1, wins over UTSA, Utah State, Auburn, and Mississippi State, and the loss to Notre Dame. So that means we've got 7 more games to predict, and we'll do that coming up right here on Locked On Aggies. But first, I have to talk about our friends over at Nissan. We're all about the stats here at Locked On Aggies because numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are on an MVP level with the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds. It can quite literally carry the whole team, plus the gear, wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering the strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, the Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and even bigger memories. Whether you're exploring off-road trails or rolling up to the arena, the Armada Pro 4X brings power, versatility, and style wherever you go. Take your adventure to new heights in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. Also want to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. I've got my eyes on a few underdogs this year, and FanDuel makes it easy to back with the spreads, totals, and game props. I have an 8-leg parlay going on right now on FanDuel, and I am 4-0. I'll read you yesterday's because I'm excited about it. Me and my best buddy Cameron are deep diving into this. And so I've got Alabama minus 5.5, Florida money line, Arizona plus 9.5, and Arkansas plus 5.5 hit yesterday. Today, we've got Michigan State money line, Kentucky plus 4.5, Auburn money line, and Houston money line to turn $10 into $454. So, hey, maybe ride that with us. But there's a lot of fun stuff going on over on FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. So moving on to the next game here, we're going to talk a little bit about the matchup with the Florida Gators. Another game that I think is going to be incredibly stressful. I think it's a game, this to me feels like the swing game. I think that if you win that one, if you take down the Florida Gators at home, it's just, to me, these games, I think Florida, Auburn, and South Carolina feel like your swing games. They feel like your difference between 8 and 9 wins. And so Florida's coming to town. My questions with Florida are the roster. As y'all know, I am all in on DJ Lagway. He is my prediction, not this 2025 season, but the 2026 season, to win the Heisman Trophy. I think he's a star. I think he's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. I think he's going to be a generational talent. The question this year is, can he walk into Kyle Field and win? And I'm not so sure about it with the talent he's got. I think around him, not him, on the team. They've got good players, but I just think, I don't know if the rest of the roster around DJ Lagway is good enough to walk into Kyle Field and beat a damn good Texas A&M football team. That is where my concern is for this game. But once again, those games, Auburn, Florida, and the South Carolina Gamecocks, are the 3 swing games. If you go 3-0 in those games, I think you win 9+ games. If you go 1-2 or 2-1, even 2-1, 2-1, you have a chance to win 9 games, but then you'd have to pull off an upset against like a Texas or Notre Dame, So you need to try and go 3-0 in these home swing games, and that's what's nice. All 3 of those swing games are at home, so I think you are capable of winning all of them. But yeah, that Florida matchup, it's going to be, and then that'll be deep enough into the season that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Florida does have some serious talent, and I could be wrong. That'll be our. When that'll be our 6th game, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be so it'd be our halfway point game. So we'll know by then if Florida has the talent around DJ Lagway to be good, or if they don't. And that is what's going to make or break this team, I think, is do they have the talent around that star quarterback that they possess. So I'm taking the Aggies to win this game, but I think that it's a game that, hey, I'm going to take them to win right now. And I bet you this is a game that I take to pick the Aggies to win, like when I do a prediction like a week before the season starts. I bet you that. But I think there's a world where we get 6 games into the season or 5 games into the season, I'm predicting this game, and I take the Gators. That's the type of team I think Florida is. I don't think they're going to be preseason darlings. I think they're going to be like weeks 4, 5, and 6 darlings. So right when they're playing the Aggies, kind of when they're hitting their peak. So I'm taking the Aggies to win that one, but I think it could be interesting. Arkansas, this is a scary one. I think Arkansas is good. I think Green's a good quarterback. I think they're a good team. But I am taking the Aggies to go win on the road. I think it's the interesting narrative of Bobby P up in the box and all that. But I think that the Aggies are going to win. I don't think that Arkansas – I think they're a solid team. I don't think they're a great team. I really don't – I don't have a ton of concerns with this game. So that would make us 6-1. I then have us losing in Baton Rouge to get to 6-2. I think Nussmeier's a really good quarterback. I bet you that's going to end up being a night game. And I think that night games now, Texas A&M's had some success against this LSU team. I have my concerns. I really do. I think that it's a little scary to think, about the nighttime game against LSU. And it's just a narrative that I just do not like. So, yeah, I don't feel great about that game at all. I don't think that the Aggies are going to go and beat LSU in Baton Rouge. The Missouri game is another swing game for the Aggies. I'm out on Missouri. Those of you that remember correctly think – I've talked about how I think that I was all in on Missouri last year, right? And then they kind of weren't good. I mean, when I say weren't good, I mean that includes a steamroll from the Aggies in College Station at Kyle Field. I don't think – I'm out on Missouri. I think that the Aggies are going to go on the road and beat them. I really do. I don't think Missouri's going to be that good. They're losing a lot of talent. They're having to rebuild. Is Drink that good of a coach? I'm not sure yet. I don't think so. I do think so, but I don't think so at the same time. So, yeah, I think the Aggies are going to go win that game on the road. And that's another one. I don't foresee my opinion on that changing. So, I think that the Aggies are going to go win that game. The next one is the matchup with the South Carolina Gamecocks, and this is the one I think the Aggies are going to lose. I think Sellers is a really good player. I think that he's a stud. I think that it's going to be tough to beat him. I really do. I think that this is a football team that is on the come up, and I do think that Beamer's a good coach. So I think even at home, the Aggies might lose this one, and this is one of those swing games. And this is that's difference in 8 or 9 wins to me. I'm probably going to end up with eight wins total here, and because that loss would make us 7-3. I'm just telling you, I think that game is going to make or break this team. It is going to make or break this season. The Florida Auburn in that game. I then have the Aggies, of course, beating Samford to get to 8-3, and I have them losing in Austin to the Texas Longhorns to finish 8-4. I think there are multiple different swing games, once again, that will determine 8-4, 7-5, 9-3, 10-2. So it's another year where I think the ceiling and the floor are very spread apart for this Texas A&M football team. But at the same time, I do think that they have a chance to do something special. If you take care of your home field and you beat Florida, Auburn, and South Carolina, I think 9 wins is definitely on the table. If you want 10, that's when you're going to have to win in Baton Rouge, in Austin, or in South Bend, which is not going to be an easy ask. So 8-4 is my way too early prediction for the Aggies. Once again, we'll do this again probably in 2 months, and then we'll do it again a week before the season and kind of see where we change based on what we're hearing about Reed and what we're hearing about the quarterback. And about the portal and yada and all that stuff. So that is my thought. Leave down in the YouTube comments, what do y'all predict the Aggies' record to be this season? Texas A&M's got a big series coming up this weekend against the Kentucky Wildcats that if they lose, I'm probably out on this team. I think that might be a packet in. So we'll talk about it coming up right here on Locked On Aggies. But first, thanks to our friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Daylight savings snuck up on us again. If you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5 Hour Energy gives you quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late watching all of tournament action, and Fiverr Energy helped me do it. I was up last night watching Arkansas till, 1 in the morning probably, and Fiverr Energy was the reason I was able to do it. With longer days, I love getting outside to fish, golf, and all that, and nothing helps more than that than Fiverr Energy. Head to fiverrenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12 or 24 pack delivered right to your door. Need one now? Go grab a Fiverr Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. Also want to show you all our promo for the bracket breakdown over at Locked On, between Locked On and Amazon. Really cool thing, talking about the NCAA tournament. Here's the promo for that. You're not going to want to miss it.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
So the baseball team has a monumental series coming up this weekend against the Kentucky Wildcats. So I want to run through the numbers because I think this is interesting. So we've griped a lot about Texas A&M. The pitching's been pretty solid, but the hitting can't seem to get anything going, right? Well, these numbers really exemplify that. So right now, the Aggies are third in ERA when it comes to the SEC. 3.25 ERA, pretty darn good. Only two teams ahead of them are Tennessee and Vandy, two of the better teams. Behind the Aggies are Texas, Mississippi State, Bama. They're in pretty good company. And so I've been happy with that. I mean, it's been pretty – the ERA has been good, and I've said that time and time again. We have seen solid numbers from our pitching staff. The issue has been the hitting. Does anyone want to take a bold guess as to where the Wildcats, that's who we play, where the Aggies are when it comes to batting average? Well, the Aggies are 16th with a team average of 258. That is just about putrid. And then, to make matters worse, when it comes to fielding, the Aggies are 15th out of 16 teams. With how many errors do we got? Let's see. 27 errors. That's an error a game, right? We've played about 27. That's 27 errors, 24 baseball games. That's not going to get the job done. So when it comes to pitching, Kentucky's kind of middle of the road. They're number 8 in the SEC. Solid. And then hitting, they're right kind of down with the Aggies. Their team batting average is 285. They're 13th in the SEC. So point is, that exemplifies these numbers. The hitting has been rough. The pitching's been darn good. You're playing a Kentucky team that's had the same struggles. Their pitching's pretty good. Their hitting is terrible. Their fielding wasn't that great either. It's a series that if you win or sweep this series, maybe you get right back in this thing. I've talked about it. Baseball is a confidence game. If you get a little bit of confidence, sometimes that's all you need. But if this team loses this series or gets swept at home, I think it's it, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to sound negative. I think that's the reality. If this team can't find a way to win, I don't see it going well for the Aggies, and I see the season kind of that being it. So that's going to do it for this week here at Locked On Aggies. Thank y'all so much for being here every single day. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy the NCAA tournament. Enjoy some Texas A&M baseball, and we'll see you next week right here on Locked On Aggies.